few, but they just give
Yeah.
you. I just recently saw your client, and I thought she was probably the closest in terms of like how she started and her goal and what you were able to achieve.
Do you mind if I? Yeah. So you like the more brown, mushroom brown tones.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So some of the things that I did show you earlier, that's like if I had no gray, like that's what I would want to look like.
Yeah.
And it usually stays fairly dark.
Yeah.
But I've seen like lighter photos. She has a little bit of like gray in there, but I kind of like that sort of dimensional look.
Yes.
This was probably my favorite one. Not really the big chunky.
Okay, well, what made this one your favorite?
I think it was the tone, and I like the brightness around the face.
Okay.
And I like the fact that she still has some dark and the light.
Okay, compared to the other ones, you feel like it's more...
It's a little bit darker than, say, that one, in a way.
Okay.
Because I still have a lot of dark in my hair, I think. Or I just like that look. And then from some of these other ones, I thought if we had to stay on the warmer end, like, I wouldn't mind having caramel. Like, if my hair wasn't able to go as mushroomy.
Okay, that's actually lighter.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, that's actually lighter than the other photos.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't go that light. It was just to show you kind of like the tone that...
Okay.
But see, the mushroomy color I like
Okay.
best.
And then what's your color history?
So let's see. I got highlights done a long time ago.
Like over 5 years?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of... It could be some at the very ends. But mainly a lot of this is just permanent color.
Okay. Done at home or in the salon?
I would say over the last few years it's been at the salon. Every month I go, I get the root touch, and then she would tone it to like a ashier color. And then every sort of like 4 to 6 weeks I come back and I get it done.
Okay.
But in the last year, my gray has sort of increased. And it was just getting more and more expensive and more upkeep.
So you did at home a few times? Okay.
Yeah, using permanent color. Just on the roots. I wouldn't pull it all the way through.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of mimicking what she would do.
Yeah. Are we doing a haircut too?
Yeah, I think so. Like a lot of these ends are really kind of dead and dry.
How much would you want to cut off?
I like it long. I wouldn't mind, if we had to get rid of dead ends.
Okay, so about like 2 inches or so. Okay. So when you did your highlights last time, did you like them?
I did, yeah.
Were they as light?
What do you mean as light?
As the
this?
photos, yeah.
I would say no. I never really wanted to go into the blonde. It was more very like baby lights.
Was it warm?
Probably a little warm.
Okay. You only did it once?
No, I probably had highlights done maybe 2 or 3 times. Maybe 3 times.
Okay,
like
so
5 or 6
you're
years
familiar that the toner does fade.
Yes.
As you wash, it gets lighter.
Yes.
Okay, so all those colors that you were showing me, let's say your hair gets as light, they fade out kind of blondish with those tones.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in order to see the ashy tone, the mushroomy brown, it needs to be lightened with that light anyways, past the orange. And then when the toner fades out, it does kind of fade out that way.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll still like see some warmth as the color does fade out. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks for the toner to completely fade out, but as you wash, it fades just a little bit, and then just depending on what products you use, should last about 6 to 8 weeks if you're using good ones. And as far as like your gray, do you care to see white in between the highlights?
I was thinking about that. And all I now see at the root is like white and black. And that bothers me, obviously. So if you interweave like other colors between that would be fine. But I still don't want to really feel gray, if that makes any sense.
So there's 2 options. You can do, the first one would be we would just blend it normally without any demi in between, and then see how you feel.
Okay.
If you're like, no, I feel gray too much and I would rather cover it next time, then we totally can.
Okay.
There's different options just depending on like how you're feeling when you come back and like how it's like fading out on you. We can determine what would be best next. But I always say, like, if it's your first time doing this type of blend, just do the least, because like what if you're okay with just doing the highlights rather than adding the demi right away?
Okay.
Because you don't really have patches of white or anything. It's very like little sparkles here and there. And I think the highlights will be plenty to blend, in my opinion. I think it should be fine. Majority of the clients do feel like it's fine, but I do have some clients that don't, so that's why I say we'll just have to see as it fades out, and then you just let me know. As far as maintenance too, because this is your first session from going dark to more of a blended look, some clients feel like after the first session you might want to come in a little bit sooner. It's a little bit of a shock because it's like lighter than what you're used to. You're still seeing the gray. You're not fully comfortable yet. But as you like live in it and stuff after the second session, most people can go longer. And then they get more comfortable with seeing the gray blended in, or you might feel like we want to cover it next time. So that's just the expectation for future of what you're kind of looking at with the color that you're asking for.
Okay. I think at this point, I was thinking about that. Do I want to use the demi or not? My first gut reaction is use the demi because I like being dark.
I know, and you're used to it.
Yes.
So if you feel that way, what we can also do is if there's specific areas where it really bugs you, I can just put it there.
Okay.
Is there a specific area that you have? Okay, where?
So right here, this is where I always part my hair.
Okay.
And every day since I saw you, because I did not do any color service since I spoke with you or texted you, so I've been using like a crayon. And I mainly just, it's kind of like a demi in a way because it just kind of blends it in, but you can still see that it's like gray. Gray-brown.
Okay.
So they're the parts. And then here, I do have this sort of like...
Cowlet?
Yes. And so when I wear my hair down, and if it does...
splits.
Yes, and then people are standing behind me and I'm very self-conscious of it.
Okay, what about the hairline?
Yes, as well. Like if I'm going to wear my hair back in a ponytail like this, I can kind of see. And a little bit here. Right here maybe, because I do kind of pull it back a bit.
Okay.
So right there maybe, but other than that, I don't really care so much.
If you want, would you want me to just put it there? We can do a light color and see if that does anything for the grays too.
Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we have a new client who wants to do gray blending, but she wants to definitely stay more brunette than go fully gray or feel too ashy. She liked the more neutral, ashy, mushroomy brown tone. And then the other thing too is she doesn't want to feel too blonde. But essentially with gray blending, what we're going to be doing is pretty much lightening her hair. So I'm going to share with you guys today how I would approach a client who wants to do gray blending, which essentially when you're doing it with highlights, you are lightening the hair, but doing it in a way that they don't feel too blonde and they can gradually grow out their gray, but also keep them feeling brunette and have it so that their roots grow in extremely soft. So I'm going to first start off with my signature gray blending placement, and I'm going to go in and start in the back around the nape. I always detail the hairline right around this area because this is part of her face framing money piece section. So when she brings her hair forward, this is technically the ends of her hair in the front. And so this part is really important for me to always hit. Even if we're doing a partial, sometimes I will do a little foil back here just right around the hairline because I feel like it just looks better when everything flows and connects and just looks really natural that way, opposed to having the ends just be dark. So after I do that foil, I'm going to go in and do my mohawk sectioning. And when I say mohawk, it's just kind of the placement where it's like the center of the back of the head, and this is going to go all the way up towards the front. And since this is more of the interior, this is not really the visual where it lays on top of everything. This is more of the interior. We are going to be slicing this part because I want to have the most amount of impact with each foil that I do here. So I don't want to waste time weaving or anything like that. I'm just going to strategically do slices and just space them out a little bit further apart to kind of give the effect to where it just kind of breaks it up and gets it a little bit blended back here, and I can do a little bit less foils by slicing in this way. And then I am using my long foils to kind of lay the hair flat. I don't typically like to fold the hair up when I'm doing long foils like this because I don't want the lightener to move around or anything, especially when you're lightening dark hair. I am using the Danger Jones powder lightener, which has 9+ levels of lift. And this lightener is great for gray blending, especially on darker levels or hair that has been previously colored. I absolutely love it because it is formulated with bonder too. So it does ensure that my client's hair is going to lift really well, but at the same time maintain the integrity of their hair. And so it's really important for me to use a lightener that is strong enough to break through old permanent color and at-home color like she mentioned in our consult. So now I'm doing the front, and for her money piece, I'm just going to be doing some 3 like little baby lights back to back. And what I mean back to back is that the only fallout or dimension that is left in between the foils is whatever is left out from my weave. And then I'm going to continue doing some weaves on the top of the head where her visual is. And since she doesn't have a ton of gray either, I'm going to be doing a more medium-sized weave in the rest of her mohawk section to kind of connect the front and the back. And this is just going to break up her hair because since she does want gray blending, she wants to go a little bit lighter. She wants it to grow soft with her natural grays. But at the same time, she doesn't want to feel too blonde. It can be a little bit of a tricky area to where you don't want to over highlight it too much, but you want to create some light softness around their natural hair. So placing the foils strategically, spacing them out, I would say maybe like a 1/2 inch apart or even a little bit less because we are weaving it versus slicing it, is just going to break it up just enough. Now, if she had heavier amount of silver naturally, I would probably switch up my placement, but because she has a decent amount of dark hair, she is salt and pepper, but she does have more pepper than salt, I would say. We are able to weave the visual for her today. So it just depends on the client's natural gray pattern, and I usually will take into consideration what kind of placement, what weave pattern, how far apart I'm going to be spacing out my foils. And it all depends on their natural gray pattern. And sometimes too, depending if like a client has an area that is more silver, air concentrated, more white hair in certain parts of their head, I will customize my weave pattern according to their natural gray pattern as well. And that is the whole point of gray blending, is so that we're kind of trying to mimic their gray pattern, but in a way to where you really want the effect to where the roots are darker and it kind of blends into the mids and ends, which gradually gets a little bit lighter, because generally when we do a balayage or natural blondes when they're sun-kissed, naturally the sun makes your ends lighter, and it just looks more natural when the blend looks darker at the root and lighter on the ends. And so now that I'm doing the side here, I did slice this all the way up until her temples, and now I'm doing and reverting back to more of a medium, chunkier weave here to kind of connect that side. And basically the side too also is the connection from the front to that back mohawk section, and this is just going to make my life so much easier and faster to get through her full foil. And then after that, I did do a few tip outs in the front, but very minimal, just to kind of break it up. And then we lifted her hair to about a level 8 or 9. I really didn't want to lift her past a 9 because she again wanted to be more of a neutral ashy tone. We're not looking to go gray. And so we're just lifting her enough to where the brown, mushroom brown can really take on her hair. So we also did a spot treat for demi in between her foils before we wash out the foils. And then now we're going in with the toner. I'm using the Danger Jones gloss toners, and for her root formulation I use 6-0. And then for her mids and ends, we did 7-8 with 9-2. And this is going to create more of like a mushroom, slightly ashy brown tone. And we applied it to the root color first, brushed it out, and then we like to apply the lighter color on the mids, brush that out, and then apply it all over. And I like to work in zones because even though these gloss toners process in about 10 minutes or so, sometimes I will choose to wash it off sooner, just depending on how their hair takes the toner. So I like to work in zones so that in case we do need to wash it off sooner, it's the root has fully processed.
How's the color feeling? That's good.
Different but good, yeah.
So we'll lighten up as you wash. So I did it more dimensional today and a little bit more dimensional in the photo because I didn't want it to fade and you feel too full on. Okay. Yeah. So pretty. Everything's very nicely blended.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. I absolutely loved it. Her roots blended in so well with this color, and now she is able to go a little bit longer before needing to touch up her roots because she is going to fade out a little bit lighter. Now as this does fade, it will fade a little bit more of a blondish lighter brown tone, and when she comes in for her touch up in about 3 months or so, we can definitely pick up some more darker pieces to kind of blend depending if she wants to go lighter or not. We can also alter the toner a little bit to make it ashier, just depending on how she felt like this faded out. But there's so many things that we can kind of customize and change depending on how she felt after this appointment. Okay, so that's it for this week's episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.